Modern war doctrines include something called Mosaic warfare. This is the idea that you send so many weapons and sensor platforms of so many types at the enemy that they cannot adapt and are overwhelmed. It is no single powerful weapon or tactic that wins the day, but the totality and inescapability of what you send that matters. A similar concept is being implemented in the social war that is being waged against modern individuals and civilization as a whole. The assaults are so frequent and from so many angles that no single loss of freedom is enough to trigger a response, yet you are losing your rights at such a rate that you will be left owning nothing with no rights and no idea how it happened. This is why the megacorporation partnerships between the governments of the world and their lapdogs are so important to the Great Reset and the WEF. If every assault on your freedom came from the government, it would be easier to combat. They need multiple angles of attack. They do not need direct legal control when they can take control of dominating factors in each individual sector of your life. Once they can do that and suppress opposition to a point where it becomes thought control, they can begin to connect various spheres of control until it coalesces into a mosaic of complete control, locking you into a glass box of tyranny. Instead of individual violations of your freedom, such as your right to self-defense or censorship in the public forum, things will coalesce to the point where a company denying you services based on your political affiliations and religious beliefs will be acceptable and possibly mandated. Remember, it is far easier for government to mandate the behavior of companies than people. Also remember, the government punished and drove multiple bakers out of business for exercising their First Amendment freedoms and refusing to create custom art that went against their beliefs. While people like myself may warn of the dangers of social credit, the real application of such will probably not be blatant or overt at first. Instead, it will be the slow encroachment of your rights that we are seeing today. Slowly, over time, they will use your job and personal life against you. For example, the government used its bureaucratic regulatory power in OSHA and other organizations in an attempt to force people to be vaccinated. In the name of health and safety, they threatened companies with fines, deauthorizations, and shutdowns if they didn't force people to get vaccinated. Make no mistake, when the company caves to the government's demand and then, in turn, demands that their employees take the vaccine, it is the government telling the people that they must be vaccinated or lose their jobs. If the government directly demanded that people be fired if they aren't vaccinated, there would be a mountain of lawsuits immediately. Yet somehow, using the company as a proxy, its messenger boy, it isn't treated the same way legally. In a just world, this attempt to suborn a private company to the political will of those in power would result in massive investigations and prosecutions for First Amendment and other constitutional violations. But as I discussed in my Deactivation Nation video, those in power have discovered they can successfully sidestep the Constitution by using companies and other private institutions as sock puppets. When the government can mandate your health choices by controlling what is available through the FDA and use companies to compel actions it desires, when the government can control what you see and what you can say through partnering with social media platforms that have become the public square, when they can directly assault your right to defend yourself through law, and when they can cripple the economy with inflation, reckless spending, self-defeating carbon reduction, and fake green policies, then you may start to see the Mosaic form. Each individual part of your life being taken away from you. The goal being to do it in a way where they can hand wave away each part. Oh, don't worry, it's just a magazine size limit. What's the big deal? Oh, you can't be hateful on the internet? You don't want to let people be hateful, do you? Oh, it's no big deal. It's just a vaccine. Why would you sacrifice your job for your bodily autonomy? They want to be able to dismiss every individual objection as alarmism and conspiracy theories. But objecting to the neutering of your First and Second Amendment rights is anything but alarmism. And there are real, tangible changes to what you can functionally do in the real world, which is anything but a theory. Your life liberty, and pursuit of happiness rely on you being able to control your own body. No government, company, or social trend should be able to tell you what to do with your own body. There is nothing more personal or fundamental to your rights than your medical independence and body autonomy. The entire point of government, the theoretical reason we tolerate it at all, is the protection of our rights. It does not exist to provide services, build roads, or establish social norms. All that can and has been done without government, and with higher efficiency and better results. No, government exists as a vehicle to protect your rights without individuals resorting to vigilantism and potentially violating even more people's rights. When a government becomes destructive to these ends, it loses its legitimacy. This means government exists to defend your right to choose what you do with your body, not to tell you what to do with your body. Of all the individual mosaics of control, this one piece, an attempt to control what you do with your body, should be the most telling about what is going on. It is a linchpin and a small taste of the final conclusion of the path we are on. They want you to live in the pod, eat the bugs, and be happy with whatever they tell you to think and do. They want you to become a genderless, helpless mass of blubber, incapable of independent thought or resistance. The mosaics of control are working. Our food is poison, our healthcare is poison, our air and our water is poison, and our entertainment is mental poison. The only way to resist is to first learn to feed yourself, maintain yourself, and to think for yourself. Individualism is the only cure to a cancerous society that seeks complete hegemony of mediocrity. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe.